The Democrats prosecuting the president opened the Senate trial in dramatic fashion.
What you are seeing from the House managers is a remarkably disciplined laying out of the circumstances, a narrative.
Adam Schiff, I think it'll go down as one of the great performances.
And even rising to the level of senatorial eloquence, if there is such a thing.
Very, very powerful and forceful speech.
I thought it was dazzling. I thought the way he wove through both the facts of the case and the historical context was really remarkable.
Like the galloping ghost, Gail Sayers. So he just wove through.
As soon as he said dazzling, this man started laughing. Jason Chaffetz, Fox News contributor, former Republican congressman, former chair of the House Oversight Committee.
He lost a lot of jobs.
He is hosting, but he got a good one. Today at noon, he's going to be host of Outnumbered. You were co-hosting Fox and Friends Weekend.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
You did great.
Thank you for joining us. So was it dazzling?
Oh, my goodness. I had to live for 8.5 years with Jerry Nadler and Adam Schiff. If they mean senatorial-esque by being long-witted and just bloviating for hours on end, then mission accomplished. Yeah. Look, Jerry Nadler in particular lost me in about sentence 2 or 3 when he started with, "The facts are undisputed." Are you kidding me?
Well, then why do you need more witnesses?
Is there anything credible that he says after that to say that the facts are undisputed? I don't think it's effective
Were
at all.
Republicans right to get angry for, and they use the word cover-up? They lost it. Lindsey Graham went crazy. Ron Johnson said Democrats would be smart not to let him speak anymore.
I think the Democrats have only 2 goals. I think day one was not about winning over the jury. It was about establishing in their minds a narrative that they can then go out and say, look, the Senate process was totally unfair. We would have won, but it was totally unfair. Day 2 was about saying, hey, the president's going to cheat. He's going to cheat and try to undermine the 2020 election. It had nothing to do with actually proving the facts. There were no new evidence, and I don't think
Exactly. He said, basically, we've got to stop this president before the election in 2020. His misconduct has been so bad, we've got to stop it. They tried to stop him in the beginning, impeach, found various reasons. It's almost, we've heard Dan Bongino say when he was fighting crime, if there is a crime committed, then you find out who the criminal is. He said in this case, they found the criminal, now they're trying to find the crime.
That's why they've been trying to impeach this president since January 20th. Because as Al Green, the congressman from Texas, has said repeatedly, they believe they need to impeach this person because he might win another election. That's the only thing that this is about.
Of course, the election is coming up in November. Joe Biden would like to be president. He's got a really good point that you have not heard yet regarding Joe Biden testifying. But first, let's go out to Iowa. Here's Joe. Is he going to show as a witness? No.
The reason why I would not make the deal, the bottom line is, this is a constitutional issue, and we're not going to turn it into a farce, into some kind of political theater. They're trying to turn it into political theater, but I want no part of being any part of that.
Okay, so Joe says he won't go, but at the same time, you have an interesting observation. He was vice president during the Obama administration.
And this is why I don't believe there will be any witnesses, because when a president leaves office, he does not leave behind his executive privilege. I think in Joe Biden's case, they're going to claim executive privilege. That's why Joe Biden can't do this. And Hunter Biden, if they were to call him, he would simply plead the Fifth. In the case of Bolton or Mick Mulvaney, the president has a very legitimate case of executive privilege. It doesn't mean you're hiding something. It means that you get to invoke that privilege.
And John Roberts knows better than anyone that there is historical precedent for just that.
And look, the Democrats' goal here is to talk to their voters and try to sully up and bloody up the president and try to make it look like the Republicans are covering things up and to put those vulnerable Senate Republicans in, a place where they got to take tough votes.
All right, so it doesn't even matter if those 4 Republicans flip and they decide to vote for witnesses, because the witnesses are not going to talk anyway.
I don't think so. I think if they get to that moment of drama, there's going to be a showdown at high noon and I wish it was sooner rather than later, but that is the key vote. But again, I don't think anyone will actually end up testifying.
Well, we're going to see. They're going to vote as early as next week, according to Senator Thune, to see if there's going to be witnesses. If not, it could happen. Guess who's probably praying for no witnesses? Klobuchar, Warren, and Sanders. They are losing Iowa, while Biden and Mayor Pete are making the most of this moment. And I'm getting reports right now, Jason Chaffetz, dazzling. Dazzling. One
So
more
dazzling, we're going
I want
to
to
keep
thank
him.
my wife for calling in. I appreciate it.
So dazzling, we're keeping him. You can watch him outnumbered.
Thank you.
At noon.
Thank you. Thank you.